Hello, friends, and welcome to the Calyx. This story I'm entitling The Sorority of the Unordinary. And this is part 2 of Mass of Nyarlathotep. Alright, so if you dabble in Cthulhu, you may have seen this scenario, and it's a big one. This book is only volume 1 of the scenario that we are playing through. And I'm so glad that you're here this evening. I want to take this opportunity to thank our wonderful sponsors, Chaosium Inc. Chaosium are the publishers of Call of Cthulhu, and they kindly sponsor this stream. So we got to give them a shout out. Also, they give us this awesome discount code. So if you go to chaosium.com and you use the offer code Calyx S3 for season 3, you're gonna get 10% off on the website. So yeah, please go do that. Tell them we sent you, and you'll make us very happy. And here we go. We're about to jump back into the America chapter of Mass of Nyarlathotep. And without further ado, since I took a long time when no one could hear me last week, we'll just jump right in and reintroduce these fabulous, fabulous players. Hi, friends. I made you unmute yourself, so you may... Okay, great.
Hi!
So, before we recap what happened last episode and jump right back into the action, after you found your friend Jackson Elias lying eviscerated on his hotel room bed...
I don't want to talk about it.
It's very upsetting, especially for Peterson, who immediately blamed themselves.
Yeah.
Not right.
I did do that.
Peterson doesn't deserve that, but you know what?
That's right. That's
for,
a thing now.
That's for y'all to deal with.
Back over my notes. It's fine.
It's okay. We'll talk about it. But first, let's go around and introduce the wonderful players and the character you have chosen to play today. Let's start in reverse order, which would be Gina DeVivo.
Oh, hello. I'm Gina DeVivo, and tonight I am continuing to play Joe Reeves, who, as of yesterday, was having a good time, and then really not having a good time, and then having a great time again, and then again, a really bad time.
Okay, perfectly summed it up. I think we got it.
Lives. That's how Joe lives. Some days are great days, and then those great days turn into bad days.
Jeez, Becca relates. And Gina, who are you? Where can they find you on the things?
You could find me on the things at Pocket Gina. Those are, if you type in me and RPG, you'll find a list of beautiful, fun things for you to follow and watch me do. A lot of it's on hiatus right now because it's the holidays, but which is a great time to catch up on the VODs.
Do it. Failed save on Pixel Circus, just to name one of the many.
Just to name the one.
All right, let's jump on over to Bridget Jeffries.
Hello. My name is Bridget Jeffries. Really random aside, thank you guys for all the kind messages and the emails and the texts about my voice. This cast of incredible women carried me. They keep saying that they didn't, but they did. They carried me that entire episode, and you guys just being really compassionate and really supportive was amazing. I am feeling much better. My COVID test was negative, and my voice is about 85%. So we're getting there. So thank you again. I want to take that moment to sincerely say thank you to the cast, thank you to Becca, and thank you for all of you watching. You guys are a blessing, and I appreciate it. So being that I spent all my time there, I'm Bridget Jeffries. I am the owner of Symphony Entertainment, which is a horror tabletop role-playing company. So if you love tabletop horror role-playing games, you can check us out at symphonyentertainment.com. If you are interested in writing for community content, so you can self-publish your own Call of Cthulhu scenario or playable content on the Miskatonic repository, feel free to kick me an email and get you plugged into some of the best resources in the world. That will get you from, this is a cool idea, to you actually being published. You can email me at Bridget, that's Bridget you walk across with 2 T's at chaosium.com. And if you want to hear me ramble also without a voice, you can check me out on the Miskatonic University podcast on mu-podcast.com. And thank you again. I love y'all.
Bridget, you are the best. You were very present, even though your poor voice was for not. But thank you so much for being here, and I'm so glad you're feeling better, because we missed your voice. And
It's that you walk across. I love that as a way to tell someone how to spell your name, and then add 2 T's.
And then add 2 T's.
That's perfect.
Hi, I'm Paula,
Yeah.
like Paul from the Bible, but add an A to it. That's the best I could think of.
I'm Gina, like gin with an A at the end.
There we go. We all got it.
I'm Becca, like your pilgrimage to Mecca, but with a B.
But swap some letters out. Hi, my name is Paula. I make board game sketch comedy called Things Get Dicey. I also stream board games and video games here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Paula Deming. And I'm on the Watch It Played YouTube channel, and I've got some podcasts. This Game is Broken, a comedy panel show about board games, and Death by Monsters, a podcast all about monsters, mysteries, and the unknown. Look, also, the bow tie, this is not just because I was having trouble tying my bow tie today. This is because Peterson has been through it and obviously had to untie their bow tie. So that's what that is about. Hi, Peterson Langley is a medical doctor from who went to school at Princeton. Yes, that program does exist in this world. And let's see how to catch you up. Oh boy, I take a lot of notes. I've done some research. I'm very prepared for this journey that we came to New York for Jackson, but now Jackson is dead. And if I hadn't knocked on the door, we probably could have stopped that from happening. So that is a thing. I have a twin brother who is dead, and his name is Peterson. And so I often go by Peterson because sometimes it's just easier to navigate through the world as Peterson rather than as Penny. That's I think that's everything. Ben Fez 87, I just caught a very nice thing said about my latest sketch that went up today. So I'm going to acknowledge the chat and say, hi, thank you so much.
Okay, well, I know what I need to watch later on. One final note, I want to thank Art and Audio, who I believe is in the chat right now, who did the incredible character art that graces each of the frames that you can see here on the stream for Peterson, Penny, Joe, and Millie. I just run them together like one word now.
Oh.
All right.
Peterson, Penny, Joe, and Millie. Yep.
Yes. All right, so let's get back into the action, shall we? So you've done a bit of wonderful recapping for us, but let me just hop on over to this image that you walked into after the group reunited, spending its holidays recuperating, and then received a message from Jackson Elias, your dear friend, an author, a researcher that really likes to embed with cults, and wanted to tell you all about the Carlyle Expedition, so much so that he contacted each of you via telegram and asked you to come to his hotel room in New York City after a night on the town where you met saxophone and trumpeter Art Mills, who invited you to see him play again at Teddy's Saloon another night. You, the next day, went to your meeting place, and as Peterson mentioned, a knock at the door may have alerted the killers of your dear friend. Millie's clutch locksmith skills opened the door where you found 3 men with strange knives and your friend eviscerated on the bed. A chase ensued in which Joe very astutely ran outside when she noticed these murderers heading towards the fire escape and caught one of them, caught him right by the Achilles heel with her butterfly knife. That is one of the 3 cultists down. The second one leaps into the fire escape, jumps down onto the ground, and Joe takes the strange weapon and sticks it of the downed Achilles heel cut gentleman and sticks his knife into his associate's gut. We don't know whether either of these men are alive or dead, but I think they're going to need some medical attention before before they get back up again. The third man was intimidated by Penny Peterson's gunpoint. Millie smashed not only the door twice into this guy, but then smashed him over the head with a wooden chair. And that's where we are after a few sparse words with the dying Jackson Elias because of a clutch medical skill from Peterson. As the door opens, as the sirens had been approaching and the sound of boots approached up the steps, and our lovely investigators wanted a few more clues and lost their opportunity to get away unnoticed. So, in the few moments before these cops enter the room, the door is now cracked and they're walking in. Did you want a moment to discuss what the group will do next?
What are we doing?
I'm gonna confess.
We just tell the truth. Wait, to the crime that you didn't do?
Oh, no. I mean, just tell them
We're just
happened.
gonna tell the truth.
We have evidence that shows we got there and we were told to come and this and this. And then we just tell them we apprehended them.
Okay, let's try it.
We don't have much choice.
Two officers. Oh, yeah. What's Millie do?
Millie is so nervous. She's watching you guys have this conversation like, oh my goodness, me and law enforcement do not get along. Oh my goodness, if they run my prints, what's going to happen? Oh, I don't even know if they run prints in the 20s, but she's just going to stick with her laryngitis that she still has.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
And then I just, don't mention the end of the world.
Okay, got it. I'll just pretend like we could pretend like we were called here. We got here before they did. We're private investigators. We are private investigators. We don't have to pretend.
No.
Okay.
Tell them we're fine.
They walk in.
Boom, boom, boom. The door slams against the wall, almost off its hinges, as two young-looking officers, uniformed officers, say, "Get down." They both have pistols and billy clubs on their hip, the pistol in their hand, as they point it at each of the four people in this room in turn, including one of the murderers, cultists, whatever. And you recall that each of them was wearing a rather interesting head wrap with a long red strip of fabric coming from the front.
Right.
Everyone get down. Get down.
Millie, put your hands down. Thank goodness you're here. It took you long enough.
Excuse me? Please, hands behind your head.
We have been here trying to apprehend the murders. You can see we're in the middle of a crime scene. I am a medical doctor and I am here. I do autopsies. I'm here examining this body. We've apprehended one of the assailants and it took you so long to get here.
One of them is
I'm just going to shoot a look over to Joe and be like, is this what you meant?
I give a wink and then I cross my hands like a very seasoned detective.
These two rookie cops look between each other and then look at all of you. And there's one of them that is a slight build, and is like kind of looks like the sharper, the leader of the two, and then the other one kind of a bulky dude, very thick, covered in muscle and a little bit of fat, says, but don't we normally call for the autopsy?
Well, that's why I said it's thank goodness you're finally here. I don't normally beat the actual police to the scene of the crime, but here we are. These are some of my friends. They are private investigators and alerted me to the fact that a situation was happening here. And so we are happy to answer any questions you have about what happened. Of what we know, we have evidence.
Who's this on the floor?
This is Jackson, or wait, the one on the floor?
Yeah.
That's it.
This is and Joe has like taken on like the demeanor of walking back and forth, describing the crime. This man committed the crime. If you check his left breast pocket, you'll find the murder weapon. And then she goes on the full speech. And this is Jackson Elias. It's all here in my note.
Note? Just
Remember,
the one?
I wrote a note.
Oh, right.
officers.
Like,
Please remind
stabbed
me.
into the guy.
Yeah, like
Okay.
sent home from school today. I forgot my homework.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, as the kind of bigger, little bit dumber one walks over to read the note, Peterson, please give me a roll for credit rating. And Joe, though you do work for sort of a mysterious society that does solve occult and Cthulhian mysteries, you're not exactly like a PI in the way the cops are used to working with, so roll for fast talk.
Thank you.
Okay. I got a regular success. I rolled a 46. My credit rating is 60.
Oh, thank goodness.
We'll spend 2 luck points to succeed.
Okay, you do. Well, geez, ladies, says the thinner one of the two. Thank you so much. I can't believe that you got to this scene before we did. I think that
No, it's unusual.
the lieutenant's gonna have some questions for you, so if you don't mind sticking around. But, well...
You might have some extra questions for the 2 mooks downstairs. And she like pulls the cop and gestures to the 2 men that fell out the window. We don't know.
The bigger guy who had been checking out the note that was pinned to the chest of the cultist lying on the floor. The cultist has his hands behind his head. He wasn't moving. He wasn't about to get himself shot. He stays still, and as one of the cops peeks out the window, he says, yeah, we got Jimmy's down there now. Some other cops have come and are investigating in the alleyway. You can hear their voices because the window letting in the cold January air is still open.
I lean close to the cop, just cheek to cheek while staring down at the bodies. And I say, what's your name, kid?
My name? They call me, Klinko.
All right, Officer Klinko. And I'm just like starting to mimic his voice.
I love that name, Becca, by the way.
I could not.
Right.
I saw it happening, but I'm thrilled with what you came up with.
Officer Klinko.
That might be a goblin magic card.
Probably is. But listen, it's fine. Officer Klinko, we're good.
I love it.
It is what it is.
I got the nickname when I was playing football back in school.
That's right. Hey, wait.
I used
he
to run
turns
with
to the
Cranko
doctor.
back in the day, but
Cranko.
our names were too similar.
Thank you. I was thinking of Cranko.
I know you were.
That's right. You have a
said
goblin
Klinko.
deck. Okay.
Yes,
now
I
this is
do.
Klinko. Very
Okay,
different. Very normal.
Legally distinct.
Yeah, legally
All
distinct
right.
name.
Officer Klinko, have you ever heard of a terrible street gang called the Bloody Tongue? It may be a little above your pay grade, but I was just wondering if you heard any hubbub about it.
This
Seems they're
guy-
causing a lot of trouble in the city.
This guy is none too quick. And he seems like he's a real rookie, so it's gonna be hard. Definitely. But like a tongue? They cut tongues? He is clueless.
I don't know if you noticed, but they did some really not so Christian things to the body over there.
He was
And I'm
kind
saying
of...
this very quiet.
You're right. He actually, when the 2 officers come in, let's see how they fare.
Ooh,
Both of them see the body, and you see Klinko especially kind of like grabs his gut and like, oh, go be sick.
You need to step outside, Klinko. Don't worry. We've got our good people in this room. We got the best.
Look, it's for the lieutenant to decide. He's gonna need to talk to everybody, but he's probably gonna be really glad that you were here. Because,
Yeah, you tell him so. You tell him if it wasn't for us, whoa, it would have been a nightmare.
Yeah,
A real horror show.
I mean, they kind of... Those is intestines? But
I
they look
start
like they have a handprint on them. Like they were shoved back in.
I start seeing how sick he's looking, and I go, indeed, these are the intestines distended. I'm like I'm having to, just so everyone knows, I'm having to shove aside, obviously, all personal feelings and put on like science goggles here and just get down to business. And I go into like I'm doing an autopsy report, yes, you can see here that there was a wide incision made, probably by some sort of 3-pronged knife. It did cause all of the intestines to spill out. The belly is distended. You can see on the forehead, I'm just like in gross description, really graphic, trying to get this guy to like gross out and leave, basically.
Oh God. Oh jeez. Rufio, I don't know if I can stay in here, buddy.
Oh, Millie is going to take that invitation for her to also get out of this room because she's super uncomfortable, really impressed that they got this off because she was pretty sure they were all going to jail. So she's just going to kind of very silently swoop in and do that maternal hold on to the officer and let me go ahead and take you outside.
Perfect.
Okay, yeah.
She's looking over her shoulder like.
So Millie and Klinko are now in the hallway. Klinko says, ma'am, I have to ask that the lieutenant is gonna want to question you, so if you could just stay, nearby.
She answers him in Creole.
I don't, well, is that sounded nice. What's that?
As if no recognition of what he just said, she says something else in Creole.
The lieutenant might know what to do here. And he just waits with you. Heading back into the room.
I look up
Joe, I have a question. Joe, you collected 2 of these strange weapons off of the bodies that were in the alleyway, or are now in the alleyway. Did you hide them? Are they in your hands?
They're not in my hands. This is... We would have been shoving everything from the room amongst our like jacket pockets and Peterson's medical bag.
Then I'm gonna need.
But I don't believe I don't believe we took the one from the person I wrapped up in the sheet. Did we? Did we take that one as well?
We picked up the knife that was in the room. There was one knife that had been dropped to the floor, and I was like, hey, we need to pick that up. I think I told one of you to pick it up, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that might have been me.
So it might be in my bag now. Either you have it in your like,
I know I have
a
at
pocket,
least 2.
or it's in my bag.
I have at least 2.
Yeah. So you have 2 on you. I'm gonna need you to roll for stealth to see either tell me where you stash them or if they're in your clothing or on your person. If you hide them successfully.
Oh Lord.
Okay. Seven.
Yes.
An extreme
We are
success.
meant to get out of this.
Is that extreme or just hard?
I don't have the like small stats for my stealth, but I'm.
What's your skill in it?
20%. It's just the standard.
So it's a hard success. Okay, because 50% or 1/5, which is 20%, is the hardest extreme. Great. Okay. So you have successfully hidden the weapons, and then one of them, the person who's still in the room, you took his weapon and sort of like didn't try and hide it. Peterson, is that right? Like giving it to the cops? Okay.
Yes.
Great.
So I will. Sorry.
Rufio, the cop's still in there. I'm really good at NPC names.
Yeah, you are. Okay, so just to clarify again, all of the knives are hidden and on our person, or do we have one exposed?
One is like presented to the cops, like, look what we found on him, was my understanding. Yeah. Okay.
I will go, because we need a murder weapon.
Yeah,
to pin it on them. So
But with your stealth, you can decide. Yeah.
We'll have one like that. I was like, Officer Rufio, we do have a murder weapon. It is this knife, and I'll look to our guy we've restrained here and say, this is your knife, correct?
Yes, and I do have an image of what the 3-prong knife looks like.
Brutal looking thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Officer Rufio.
You can see how these the sizes of the markings on the victim matches the different blades here on the weapon.
That's a different department. I'm not touching any of that. But yeah.
When will your lieutenant be here so that we can finish this up and I can go? There are many autopsies I need to get to today. I would like to not be detained here for too long.
When you say that, Rufio says, well, any minute I would think that he'd come back and or arrive. He comes in, and then you hear a new set of feet stomping up the stairs. Boys,
great.
Clear out. I need another room. Give me another hotel room. Secure it. All right. I'm going to be in there. Put the suspects in one at a time as I look at the room. And then you hear some other people in the alleyway. You see Klinko come back in and Rufio, and they say, okay, if you don't mind, I need you to leave this murder scene and come with me. You're going to need to be questioned.
Okay, to be clear, I am the medical examiner who is here. So I'm not a suspect, and neither are any of my associates. They are private detectives. We're happy to give you any information that you would like about the scene as it was when we arrived. Somehow we arrived here before you did.
Rufio looks to this new lieutenant who's walked in and says, that's all true, boss. Absolutely true. Every word. And to tell you a little bit about this person, the lieutenant that walks in, he's a heavy-set man, the muscle of his youth beginning to turn to fat. He has a dark complexion of Mediterranean origin, perhaps, and brown hair, which he wears slicked back. His suit is neat and well kept, but seems to be bulging at the seams a bit, maybe recent weight gain. Listen here. Everyone who's at a crime scene before me and isn't in a uniform and I didn't call them becomes a suspect. So, if you don't mind, I'd love to hear your analysis of what happened here. And you can see as he looks over at Jackson, there's a sadness in his eyes, and you catch that his eyes linger specifically on the forehead. But he doesn't seem at all squeamish about it.
Okay.
I'd be happy to answer your questions.
We're all on the same side, so let's work on this together.
All right, then. If I could have one of you, how about you? He points to Joe. The boys will show you to the next room. Hotel's on that? Yeah. And then the other two wait in the hallway. I just need a moment looking at the room.
Yeah, great.
And he sweeps the room. And then in a few minutes, Joe, you're escorted into a hotel room while Millie and Peterson wait in the hall. And the lieutenant closes the door. It's just the two of you in the room. He sits down. Boy. He, as you watch him, he doesn't say anything. He walks over to the desk in the room and pulls it in between the bed and like into the middle of the room, so you can sit on one side and he can sit on the other, kind of like, you know, a classic cop interrogation room.
I grab a lamp off the table, pull it onto the desk he just moved, turn the light on, and face it to my face.
Have you done this before, miss?
Well, I am a private investigator. I've interrogated many suspects. I appreciate the formality. And then I sit down. Where would you like to start, Lieutenant?
You don't need to roll. You can tell that his estimation of you has gone up a little bit. And he leans back in his chair, cracks open his notebook and says, describe to me exactly what happened when you arrived at the scene.
Well, as you may not know, the victim's name is Jackson Elias. He is a good friend of me and my acquaintances. Forgive me. I got murderers on the brain. And we were given a postcard. We were hired as such. He believed, I don't know what he believed, but he definitely called us for some reason. And when we showed up, these men had already done their deed. And you can tell by the guy wrapped up, is the one that we know did it. And the other tried to flee. And the rest is a bit gruesome, but I can tell you're not a squeamish type.
He goes to grab the light and turn it and shine it in your face, but then he notices you've already done that and he hesitates.
I lean forward to make it look like he did make it more intense.
What about the 2 bodies in the alleyway downstairs, huh?
They tried to flee, Lieutenant. And you and I know that when a coward flees from a murder scene, they may or may not have taken something. So I took foot after them, but then they pulled out those knives. And you saw the knife, right, Lieutenant? Really, really gross stuff.
You telling me I got a body down in an alleyway with 2 Achilles heel cut. I got one gutted, pretty similar to the one lying on the bed in that other room, except it doesn't have a marking on its forehead. And you're telling me you're not a suspect here?
I was in self-defense.
Roll for persuade, fast talk.
Okay. And as I'm doing it, I'm gonna say, you ever had a run-in with the bloody tongues? It's always self-defense with them. I'm gonna push my luck with that last sentence. Come on. Oh, okay. I will spend 9 luck. Can I spend 9 luck on a push?
Can you spin luck on a push roll? I feel like I should know this. I'll allow
I
it.
don't remember. Okay, great. Then
But
I
describe
push.
to me how you push. You have to say something else to further convince him you are not a guilty party here.
Okay. You ever had a man who just murdered your friend jump down on you from a fire escape with a talon in his hand? And you tell me that's not self-defense, sir.
I wish I could say I hadn't.
Still had my friend's blood on it. And it was gonna come from me next. And I don't know about you, but I don't let that kind of stuff happen to me in this city.
He leans back, and you can tell he's lost in thought, like he's visualizing something. He's gone far away. He snaps back and says, I know exactly what that feels like. I understand. You were going after your friend's killer. I'll mark it down as self-defense. And he writes it. We're taking in one of them, the one gutted. We're taking him to the hospital. He might survive the night, might not. The one with the Achilles heel, he's already bled out in the street there. Damn way to go.
He did stab himself after he realized he couldn't get away. Said something about he knew this was coming, and I don't know, he was crazy talking.
You're saying he stabbed himself?
Yeah. He was I got him. He dove at me. I got his legs, and then he just laughed at me. He just kind of laughed at me.
We'll have forensics look into the trajectory angle.
Sure. No, of course. Do what you gotta do, Lieutenant.
All right, thank you so much for your time. And here's my card. Please come down to the precinct if you have any more information. Is there anything that you want to know from me?
Yeah, I mean, can you, if they say anything else, I just, I still got my investigating to do and find out. Basically, I just, we're doing the same thing right now. I want to know who killed our friend.
And you said the bloody tongue was what they said they were with?
Yeah, that's what they said. And if you don't mind my boldness, sir, it looked like you recognized the symbol on his head. Or am I wrong?
To tell you the truth, this is the 9th such murder that I've investigated.
Jesus.
all with the same symbol on the head. The strange thing is the victims had no apparent connections. Some poor, some wealthy, some middle class, black, white, Latino, all over the city, all with the same mark on their forehead. Well, I've said too much. But I thought we...
I mean, hey, if you're looking for connections, this may not be protocol or nothing, but I might be able to recognize some of the other names as I knew this victim. If
All right.
that's allowed, Lieutenant.
I'm gonna have to think about that. Maybe we'll give you a list. Maybe not. Come to the precinct in a couple days. And jump cut.
Hey,
Oh yeah, sorry. One last thing.
I just want to give just a one quick hey, can you go easy on the doctor? She tried really hard. He was still conscious when we got here.
Noted.
Thanks.
Going easy isn't really my thing.
Yeah, but I appreciate it. One investigator to another.
One investigator to another.
Good luck, Lieutenant.
Jump cut.
Jump cut.
Well, I guess we gotta... we gotta go to Peterson, who's sitting in the same spot, tears in her eyes, as you've already given the same description of when you arrived on the scene, unless there's anything you want to add. And the detective is staring at you. I'm sorry about your friend.
Thank you. I don't know if I mentioned, but time of death was 8:05 p.m.
He makes a note. Is there anything you could tell me about the manner in which this murder was accomplished?
Well, there were 3 men here with white but red fabric. You can see one of them is here. We kept one of them back. That's how they all looked. I mean, clearly from my medical expertise, it appears to be ritualistic. It obviously used the knife. You can see from the style of the cuts, which parts of the blade were used for each cut on the body, and then of course the marking on the forehead, which was carved in before death, obviously.
Can you tell me more about that marking?
Well, I wish I knew more about it. It's clearly made by this knife. It must mean something ritualistic, or perhaps a calling card. I'm honestly not sure. Investigating is less my forte than yours. But carved in, I don't know why they would carve it in before death and not after. It's the first time I've ever seen anything quite like it, to be honest. So I've seen many interesting things. They all do have some sort of explanation, typically.
You can see the marking on the head. He thanks you for your time. He says, I can't believe I just thought we were done with these.
There's more?
We jump cut to Millie, as he'd already told Joe that this was the 9th. And he just stares you down. Laryngitis?
Millie is sitting with like her right leg crossed over her left, her arms in her palm, and she looks just as casual and relaxed as if she's like sitting at a bus stop. And she's looking dead at him as he's staring back, and she's just giving him this very...
I could do this all day. You think you think I ever met a tough cookie before?
Yeah, BCD. That's my attempt at Creole. She says with a scratchy
you
voice.
Never say anything in English?
Absolutely not. I don't speak English.
And these are your friends? They're gonna get you home all right? How'd you end up here? All right.
CD.
You're free to go.
And she remains seated.
He stands up and opens the door and gestures. He comes to talk to everyone in the hallway together. All right.
I just say I say the one thing in Creole that I know, and what you know I said is, "Hey, baby girl, come on over here."
And she engages in this full rapid fire conversation with you in Creole that she knows she can't understand, but she's authenticating both the laryngitis and the fact that she doesn't speak English.
And I just keep saying, "Oh yeah, girl. Oh yeah, girl," in Creole, because I'm just like, I don't know what you're saying.
In the hallway of the hotel, he turns to Joe. Great, translator. Excellent. Does she have anything she'd like to add, aside from the three of you come into your friend's hotel room, you found these suspects, and you chased down two of them? Anything else?
I imitate what you think Creole sound, what I think Creole sounds like to you, and then do a
Oh, and she responds back to you in Creole with a da 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 A B C D F G da da.
Nope, she says that's all. We got it pretty good.
Just to see if he suspects anything. You were very convincing, Millie, but give me a fast talk to see if he's like a little skeptical.
All right, I gotta get underneath a 55. I rolled a 98.
I thought for me.
Oh, was that not my roll? Because I'd love to abandon that.
Well, no, I actually just wanted Bridget, but I'll let Joe. I'll let Joe help out here.
Okay, well, you got a 99 and I got a 9, which
a fumble and an extreme success.
Okay. I will spend 1 point of luck to make it an extreme success in a way to mitigate your failure.
Okay, I'm gonna say that Joe said some English words while saying fake Creole. And then Millie seemed to nod at those. And so he's very intelligent. And he looks between the two of you. And he looks at Joe. He looks at Millie. And he decides to let it go.
Because people mix languages all the time. You know, if you can't think of the word in one language, you default to your native. That's normal, right? That 9 said it was normal, right? Yeah.
Listen, I really could use some help with this. To be honest. We thought we locked up the guy that was responsible. But now I'm wondering if we got the wrong guy.
Do you still have that guy in custody?
He looks to the other cops coming in and out, and there's a forensics teams now in white coats and a different medical examiner going into the other hotel room. So he walks back into the hotel room where he was questioning you and gestures for the three of you to follow him. We got a guy. I wasn't the detective that arrested him. But I just got a strange feeling, and this really solidifies it. The forehead markings. I mean, this is number 9. After the 8th one, well, they locked a guy up, but I don't know if it was the right guy.
Well, it might be a group of guys.
Yeah, you may got one of them. There just may be more.
Are we able to talk to the guy that you got already?
Hilton
We
Adams?
might be able to get information from him. What was his name?
Hilton Adams.
Hilton Adams. And is he is in custody now?
He got shipped up to Sing Sing. He's about to get the hook. So the last week, he's gonna kick the bucket. And I guess you could have seen that in the papers, and the case has already happened. It was a quick case. I can't help but think he might be. He goes over and looks out the window, and he shuts up. Anybody want to roll maybe a charm?
Not charming?
We'll try. Huh? Ho! Success.
Dice are in your favor today. Remember, if you have a success on the first roll without having to push or spend luck, I think, give it a check mark. And when we do our investigator development phase, you will get to improve that skill.
I think I just walk up to him and I say, hey, if you're feeling that bad about it, with new evidence, you might be able to halt the poor kid's sentence. At least till we know more.
He leans in and says in a low voice, I wish it was that easy. It's the captain. Captain Robson.
You decided, huh?
Between you and me, I think Captain Robson's, well, there's rumors he's on some payrolls, if you know what I mean.
Ooh, yes, I think I do.
I think he just found a patsy and shipped this man up the river. His wife, she's at the precinct almost every day, or it was before the trial. I can't remember, what's her name? Mrs. Adams. But, something seems fishy. There was a guy, this Hilton Adams, he was just at the scene of the crime. I mean, seems like that's all they had in him. The body in an alleyway. In his neighborhood. Sorry.
Well, if he wasn't spouting about some random cult nonsense.
No.
I think your instincts are right, Lieutenant.
Look, you and your friends, you're investigators, yeah? Well, or I guess investigator, medical, and what do you do? He looks to Millie. What does she do?
She's a consultant.
All right. I think I met a consultant or two around the precinct. And,
if you are suggesting something of an inappropriate nature, that is not what we mean by the word consultant.
You telling me she's following none of this conversation but I see in her eyes? That's not the case, is it? That's all right.
Well, you're holding back your information you need to, and so are we.
Great answer.
I regret it. Peterson regrets it immediately. This is going so well. Why would you? Why would you punch?
Nope.
Lieutenant Martin Poole steps in Peterson's face, almost nose to nose, and pulls handcuffs out of his pocket and holds them up in your periphery. And he says, "You want to say that again, Doctor?"
No, I do not. I apologize. I apologize very much.
Been on this job a long time. I know a thing or two. And I appreciate your help in this matter. I think you were here at the behest of a friend, and I'm sorry for what's happened. But if I find out that the three of you are up to anything fishy, I'm gonna have you in my precinct quicker than you can blink. Now give me an address of where you're staying in town. And he hands you a card with his precinct information.
Great. I give him one of the other hotels near our hotel.
Yeah, you do.
And I say, I always check my messages at exactly 12 p.m.
Got it. He takes the information. He says, "You're free to go for now. But please, if you get any more information and you want to help us get to the bottom of this, please give it to me. All right?"
We would like to find who is responsible for this so that we can get justice for our friend, just like you.
All right. Well,
and we're gonna get out of your hair now, and
you're more than welcome to. He lets you go as you're creeping backwards towards the door. They're cleaning up there. You see that they're scouring the place for clues, and no one patted any of you down. They must have
Ooh.
Liked what you had to say. So anything that was in your pockets that may have come from the crime scene is still there as you hustle out of there, head back to the Broadway hotel where you were staying. And is there anything that you want to do? Do you want to get a night's sleep? Because it's now, I'm going to say 10 or 11 p.m. You're at the Broadway Central Hotel.
I would like to very quickly run across the street to the other hotel and let them know that I informed a friend to leave messages at this reception desk for me.
Roll for charm.
Great. Yikes! No, as a 77.
You're not staying at this hotel?
No, man, I am not.
And you want me to take your messages?
Just like if someone happens to call and I come in and they just tell me if they called, because I am staying with a friend and you know how it is.
Look, we write down the notes, we put them in the boxes. You don't got a room number, you don't got a box, we gotta know where to put your note.
How about if I pay for the box?
Mm.
I can't pay for the room, but I could pay for a box.
Sure. Tell
Okay,
me what
great.
you got.
I got. Let's see.
I take dollars.
Ooh. I don't know. Do we have like a stipend of money? Can I just tell you I have money?
This is a thing that is part of character creation that I like to ignore because it's boring.
Because it's boring. And now it's come up.
Well, I'm going to say that everyone has a $10 spending per day because the year is 1925. So $1 is like $20, basically. We'll go with that.
Sure.
Hey,
so that's
Sorority of the Unordinary with that per diem.
oh shit.
know.
That's right. There are 3 different cash allowances on your character sheet. There's your like pocket cash, there which is cash on hand. There's like your do you have your character sheet pulled up? Can you tell me? There's assets, which is like
Spending level, cash and
Cash
assets.
and
is what I
assets.
have
Spending
here.
level.
spending
cash
level
and
$10 for everybody. Cash. I'm gonna say like we can go over it later, but I think like Peterson as a doctor, or I don't know if you're actually
I come from
practicing.
We're pretty.
They
My
come from
family.
money.
The
I've got old
Langleys come from money. So I think
So, yeah.
that your spending limit would be about 500 and your assets would be like 10,000 for Peterson. For Joe, I think it's a little less. And for Millie, you're like
Assets.
high and low. You're a con woman. Like sometimes you get a big score and sometimes there is no score. So
And I just ride off of my friends. Absolutely. It's our
It's cool.
spending level.
None of my money comes
Oh, yeah,
from
bless
me
you.
either.
But you do have a mysterious benefactor. So actually, I'd say that you are on par with Peterson in terms of like things you have access to if you had a few weeks to get it.
Got it.
Anyway,
Oh, our sorority of the ordinary benefactor.
your
Or did you mean
personal
my
benefactor that you may or may not keep as a lover.
Yep.
Well,
Well,
But then again, she might need to pass that spending in front of some people without them knowing about you. So
Gotcha.
there's a limit.
That money also be coming from her. Never mind. We're not going to talk about it. I think I look at that money, what's left in my wallet, and I slam a full 10.
Oh my.
Leaves that desk so fast you wouldn't believe it. Ma'am, can I have your name? And is there a forwarding number, or should I just keep them? I'll keep them on my person, and I'll let the other desk operators know too.
Great.
That's
If,
like $100, which to this
yeah,
guy means
yeah.
a lot.
I think I in this moment, Joe does
200.
not care about this money.
Okay.
No. The name's Joe, and if anyone calls for Joe, just tell him that I'm not to be disturbed, and then I'll come get the messages. Don't worry.
All right. You now have the ability to send other people aside from the detective to give notes to this hotel. And
Ooh.
Bridget, what's the name of the hotel? It's me making stuff up on the spot.
Oh, because I'm also terrible with names. We're going to go with Roosevelt, the Roosevelt.
The Roosevelt.
Yeah.
All right, this is the Roosevelt across from the Broadway Central Hotel, and that's where you can get your messages.
Great.
As if it's all right, as Joe is coming back from that, we've been waiting for her, and the whole time Peterson has been trying to retie their bow tie and just like can't get it, and it's just like this is all that they're like focused on, like cannot get this.
Millie, seeing that at one point, will just kind of very gently with her offhand just kind of slip her hand in between that to try to get them to stop.
He always wore it.
And then Millie is going to attempt to just very softly, very gently try to pull that bow tie off completely.
I would like to still wear it, please.
Respecting that, she will actually just go directly beneath the collar and press the gree deeper into their chest, and then just pat it, and then look them directly in the eye, and just overwhelming sense of love, compassion, and shared grief. But she doesn't say anything because she does actually have laryngitis until she can get back to Linda's tea. But she'll just pat it, and then she will very slowly start to tie the bow tie.
Thank you.
And she'll give her like one of those sad smiles. And you can tell that she's trying not to cry because you look so upset and she's uncomfortable with that.
I think Joe returns about this time.
We're all square. We can now get all of our messages in and out at the Roosevelt.
Thank you for setting that up, Joe.
Yeah, no, of course. I thought it'd be a little safer. I know we kind of trust him, but, you know, he didn't seem to trust his team, so thought it'd be nice to have them not know where we're sleeping.
Yeah.
This is normally the time of the night when I'd say, anybody want a drink?
Are you not drinking anymore?
Oh, they came out and asked.
Look, things can end any time. So, just is that a thing that's happening?
Yeah. It's been about 2 months.
Well, that's very good for your health.
Thanks, Dr. P. I feel better.
Good. Good. I'm glad that you do. That's good. And this is because of your friend thought maybe you should stop.
No, actually, I haven't had a drink since I handed you my flask. So, no, it's you.
Should we get some rest tonight? We should try and sleep, probably, I think. Before in the morning we could get up early and discuss how we are probably going to go to Sing Sing, unless you two would like to do something else.
No, I think that's a good idea. I'm probably gonna snoop around a bit before bed and see if I can find this Mrs. Adams. Just see if the front desk got yellow pages or something.
You have a chance to do so. Millie, are you going to bed as well?
Yeah, Millie is going to go hop on Linda's tea and get into bed. The police encounter was definitely stressful for her.
I think that as soon as you made the tea and passed one to Peterson as well, or Penny, then you just were nodding off on the sofa of the hotel room.
And suspiciously looked just like Linda, always nodding off mid-conversation. Like her biological clock has synced up with Linda, like, oh, it's past 7 o'clock.
Absolutely. All right. So Peterson and Millie head off to bed, and in the morning you'll be able to review the information that you have so far and decide which leads you'd like to follow to investigate both what Elias had been investigating, or the Cult of the Bloody Tongue and why they may have targeted him. But before bed, Joe is heading to find out more information about Mrs. Adams. Where would you like to go?
I don't want to do anything too dangerous. I just want to ask the front desk if they have a yellow pages or a white pages. I assume, or if there's like an operator that I can call and she can patch me, not necessarily patch me, but because it's quite late, but to let me know if there are still, how many Mrs. Adams with a husband. I mean, it's a sensation. The guy said it was in the papers, so they might know who this woman is.
Do you want to go down to the front desk, or do you want to pick up the phone?
Can I just ask the front desk for papers? Because it would say like the bereaved and the next of kin, and I'm sure if it was a sensationalized paper, I'd love to just like check if there are any old papers.
As you head downstairs, you see the desk clerk that you checked in with.
Yeah.
Hi, sweetheart. How you doing this evening?
Well, I'm doing great. I couldn't sleep. So I was wondering if you had any papers for the last couple days.
Like the newspaper?
Yeah, the newspaper. Do you guys get the newspaper here?
Every morning at 5 a.m. we'll get one dropped in.
Has someone snatched it up already?
Oh, well, it's before midnight. It's just around midnight now.
Oh, I don't mean for this day. I meant like, you got any ones from the past couple weeks? I don't mind if it's old news. It's still news.
Sure, sweetheart. There's a stack over there by that sofa in the lobby. Thanks so much, doll.
I grab the papers and I head back up to bed. And before I do, to build the courage, I do a quick, the quietest knock. Like when you're at a sleepover and you just look at your friend to see if they're awake, to see if they also turn their head to you, of like just the slightest knock on Millie's door and wait.
Does Millie awake?
Let's see. Millie does hear that.
Okay.
So Millie will very sleepily shuffle to the door and just kind of like part it open, like almost in that fuzzy, like maybe that wasn't a knock, but maybe it was.
Hey, sorry, I didn't mean to wake you. I got the newspapers. So I'm gonna.
You're fine. Linda has me, and suddenly she can speak again. Yay, Linda's key is.
Yay!
Come on in.
Okay.
Come on in, darling. Sorry, I totally forgot about my accent there for about 30 seconds.
No, it's okay. I've had an accent all day. I kind of can't get rid of it.
By the way,
right.
Your Creole is absolutely terrible, but
don't lie to me.
Believable.
It's too late at night for you to lie to me like this. Now sit down.
I said it was terrible, darling. It was just believable.
Oh, great. Great. I just I normally like being alone, and I kind of don't want to be alone. And I wanted to. Are they doing okay? I wasn't. Are you doing okay? I kind of feel like I missed something. I feel like I missed him, and whew. Can I have some tea?
And almost being semi-uncomfortable with emotions yet again. She goes, I'll go ahead and get that prepared. Do you have the papers that we took? We haven't looked over yet.
You don't got to worry about nothing. I just, I kind of wanted another body in the room while I look.
I understand. If you could spread those out possibly along with the newspaper, I'll get some additional paper and pen, and I'll get some of Linda's tea going for you.
Thanks.
What exactly are you looking for in the recent papers?
I am looking for the scandal of the young Hilton man being convicted of a serial killer murders. And I imagine, since papers are sensationalized, especially around something as you know, we might know that if they've started calling the killers something in the papers, like the symbol murderer, or we might, since the man has been named and caught and sentenced, there probably might be mention of his wife.
You please give me a library use roll.
Okay.
Oh.
I will spend 5 luck to succeed.
Okay, a success on a library use.
Oh, that's a lot of luck.
I'm getting a lot of luck.
Yeah, you are. I'm here for it, but yeah, you are.
Okay. As you look through the papers, you look back over months and months, and you find little, which is surprising about this string of murders. But as you continue to flip backwards, you find about once per month, there is an article about a mysterious killing. And the first 7 don't have any indication of who's responsible. It just says police are investigating. Captain Robson has taken the lead on this investigation because the majority were in his district in Harlem, but many of them were on the outskirts, like on different parts of the city, all in Manhattan, as far as you can tell. As you continue, it's now becoming the wee hours of the morning as you go through this huge stack of newspapers you'd brought upstairs. And Millie, if you keep taking that tea, I'm gonna need you to roll for Constitution, because Linda Lovegood's tea has the power to heal HP, but it also puts you right to sleep.
Right to sleep. As Joe's going over the newspaper articles and comes to the conclusion, you said the other 9 were all in Harlem?
They are all, you notice the what brings them together is they all seem to be centrally located in Harlem, if you were to map them all out.
So that piques her interest, but she does kind of smack her lips at the thought, like, oh, wow, look, murderers in Harlem weren't getting the coverage that they needed. Go right? Be real surprised about that today.
Yeah.
Millie, and she will ask, Joe, by any chance, is that the same reporter that's reporting all of these? We don't get any information from Captain Robson. Perhaps we may have a lead in the journalist who's actually writing these articles up.
That's a good point. The writer is by the same columnist. Do you have a name, or do you want me to come up with a name?
That name is Rebecca Schosenberg.
Rebecca
Schosenberg. Sorry, Schosenberg. Rebecca Schosenberg. You can tell it's not a name I made up. Is the name associated with these articles. And to Millie's point, there does seem to be a lot of the victims. As the detective said, you're noticing that the victims were both old and young, white and black, but Harlem is a predominantly black neighborhood, and it does seem strange, or at least as Millie has pointed out, now piques your interest that that is the location. And also the coverage seems to be in like a back page, a small blip, even though it's a murder.
Okay, Millie, I'm getting really weird vibes. Okay, so first the lieutenant tells us there's nothing connecting any of the murders, except that they all came from the same place. So either he's not as smart as he thinks he is. Yeah, or that was his way of telling us that he can't investigate and that there's no connections.
I don't know, Joe. He struck me as a fairly clever individual.
Yeah. And what kind of clever individual would say that?
Possibly intimidated or limited by his capabilities by his captain. I think it would behoove us to have a conversation with this Schosenberg, as she's looking over the paper to make sure she got that name right.
Schosenberg, Rebecca.
This is a bold columnist to keep these articles running this way. She or they may be interested in talking to us.
If I've ever met a reporter They really like to talk and get you talking.
And to answer your previous question, no, I am not all right. But Peterson is far worse off than I am. I think that should be our focus, no?
Yeah.
And then she immediately changes the subject again. Let's get a list going and shout out these dates, see if we can. And then she's back into investigative mode. Like, all right, date, name, if we have it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
When you
what
succeeded,
paper this Rebecca works for?
the New York Times is the paper that you receive. The whole stack was New York Times.
Okay.
As you continue to look, you start to find, based on dates of, there have been 6 similar murders and that sort of thing written in the article. So you know which direction to go in to try and find when the 8th occurred. And you do find on a back page, it says, Mr. Hilton Adams has a trial for, this is January. I think his trial would have been back in October. And it says many of his friends in the Harlem area have advocated for a appeal, but none has been granted and funding has run out. So Miss Myra Adams,
okay, great.
his wife, it will be left behind on his date of for the electric chair.
Joe is like on the ground with the paper like this close to her face at this point, like strain, bloodshot. The sun is like starting to be that asshole and raise. and she just shoots up and she goes, oh shoot, I found it. Oh, I got her name. Millie.
Millie's dead asleep.
Okay.
Can Peterson roll as the sun rises to see if Peterson wakes early? Let's see. I think this would be Constitution, just to see how early you get up.
I don't think it's going to be that early, but let me take a look at my stats. Oh no. I rolled a 76 and my Constitution's 40. So I am like, I don't think I'm sleeping well, but I can't get out of bed, I think is what's happening here. I'm not getting out of bed early because it's too difficult to face today, I think.
Great. I look, see the sleep, grab a blanket off the bed and put it on Millie and like try to quietly gather the pieces that we need and sneak out of her room.
Just to clarify, because we said last episode that you each had your own hotel room, did you decide to all sleep in one hotel room?
No, I am in my room separately.
I knocked on Millie's room to like be in her room, which is why I'm now sneaking out and letting her stay asleep so that I don't keep waking her up.
Excellent. All right. You have found out the name of the potentially soon-to-be widow if the person who is on the hook for these murders is executed. You have a few different leads, and you now have a name of a reporter that at least knows about some of these murders. As the sun rises, and Joe, do you get a few hours sleep before, from like 5 a.m. to 8 a.m.?
I want to do one thing before I go to sleep.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay, so
I mean, you're gonna feel it in the morning, but you can do whatever you want.
Okay, great.
I know
I'm
going to give you a penalty die on most rolls, but because you didn't sleep. But that's up to you.
I just want to do one thing, and I will. If I fail at it, no problem. I want to take one of my own ties and try to tie a pre-tied bow tie for Peterson and leave it on her door.
Give me a hard dexterity roll.
Okay. Okay. If I spend 9 luck.
Don't spend your luck. Don't spend it.
If it's important to you, spend it.
Don't spend 9 points of luck on my bow tie. Remember when I wanted to spend 9 points of luck or something on like saving Linda?
This is saving Peterson.
I know. I think after the conversation she just had with Millie, where she just said, "You're really not doing well," I think I'm gonna spend it to make it a hard success.
All right.
Look at she's lying in her chair. Oh my God.
Joe goes to sleep for just a few hours of shut-eye. Peterson, when you wake and open your door to go down to the lobby and bring up coffee and the newspaper, what do you do when you see the bow tie?
Well, Peterson has has pulled themselves together and has properly tied their bow tie now, and looks at it and goes, I'll just pick it up and then set it on my like vanity that's in the room.
What color is the bow tie, Joe?
It is maroon.
Have you worn this tie before? Or is this one like what I
Yeah, this is like this is Joe's clothing. You can tell because there's probably a little bit of dirt on it. Just like a little.
And I will Peterson notes it. Peterson has thoughts about all of this. Because Joe sure is doing a lot of like gestures, but where's the words? Where's the explanation?
Ooh.
You know? And I don't know. And so this is what Peterson is thinking. And so Peterson's like, noted, filed away. I will put this on my vanity, and all out. We have things to talk about. And I don't know when we'll get a chance to do it, but and I will go downstairs. And I will
All right.
and I will get my coffee and my newspaper. And then I will knock on Joe's door.
Do you bring any coffee up with you?
Yes.
All right. All right. So you go, and before you do, you glance at the front cover of the paper, and you see.
Yeah, I'd absolutely want to be as fully informed before talking to anyone else as possible.
You see something I shared with you 20 minutes ago. You all see this. Peterson sees this as they come up the stairs and knock on Joe's door. Go ahead. As Joe opens the door, Peterson, what do you say?
Say, I'm sorry I overslept. I have brought some coffee and today's newspaper where there is an article about Jackson in the New York Times. And how are you feeling?
What time is it?
Peterson will pull out their watch and look at it and say, it is 8:30. Is that all right? Is that what time?
No, that's
is that okay?
Great.
Yeah.
8:30.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Oh, come in, Millie and I did some. Good morning.
Without me.
Oh, I wanted to let you sleep. I kind of Millie slept near me while I just. Oh, okay. Just
That's fine. I found this newspaper article.
Come in.
What did you find? Should we get Millie? I'll go get Millie. We should get Millie. Millie should be here.
Okay, sure.
You knock on Millie's door. Is Millie awake?
I just go out and I go knock on Millie's door. I'm like,
They're
panic.
so beautifully awkward. Oh my God. It's so good. Yeah.
Jump cut to the three of you in Joe's room. Joe having gotten the least sleep.
Well, here's today's article. It talks about, of course, Jackson being found murdered. Talks about long knives. It doesn't really actually accurately describe the knives at all. Perhaps that is a strategy by the police to not tell people what all of the details. Lieutenant Martin Poole, who of course we talked to, is exploring possible connections between this murder and similar ones in Harlem last year, that of course Hilton Adams was convicted of in October. No opinion on whether this new murder indicates that Adams had accomplices or is innocent of the earlier crimes. I think we all have an opinion, however. But I know that the two of you did some research without me last night, and I will say that was fine. That was fine. I am not upset about that. And I will look at Joe and say, I am not upset about that.
I will add, there is one more thing in the newspaper article. It says that a funeral will be held on January 16th at 2:00 p.m. It gives the name of the cemetery. All friends and acquaintances of the victim are welcome to attend.
And the funeral is tomorrow, which we should probably attend to see who shows up for that. Is there anything that you have found that makes you think we should not go to Sing Sing today?
No. I just we found the name of the wife, and Millie connected all the stuff in Harlem, and
Oh, the name of the wife. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was thinking about something else for a moment. Peterson will flush just a little, and then what is the wife's name?
Myra, darling.
Myra Hilton. Or sorry, no, Myra
Hilton.
Hilton
is the first name of the husband. Yes, Myra Adams.
Yeah.
Great. And Peterson will put, and they write it down. Right. Did you want to talk to her, or should we go to Sing Sing? Should we take her to Sing Sing? That's too much. What should we do?
Can you remind me what Sing Sing is?
It's the prison
thank you.
where Hilton Adams is being held.
Yeah, I'd say we go. I think it might be, if she stopped going, maybe a bit traumatic. We talk to I say we do your plan.
Lily, what do you think we should do?
Millie is not dumb. She's street smart, and she's watching this between you two. Like, what is going on? Like, what did I miss? Because I was with her all night. So what did I miss in these last 2 hours? I think she's not being shy about it. She's like,
I think Joe keeps glancing at you too, just as confused. Like, what happened? Why?
Oh no!
Why? She's like, everything feels wrong. Why does everything feel wrong?
So Millie is reading the temperature of the room, but she's not being shy about it. I mean, she's being very overt, like, y'all are being weird, but I'm just not going to say it. I'm just going to say it by my facial expressions. And she says, well, if I may, I just want to clarify the leads that we have currently. We could wrap back around to Lieutenant Poole and see if he has any additional information, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
We also have the reporter, this Miss Rebecca Schosenberg, who was very quick on the dot to actually get this article out.
Thank you, Millie.
Of course. We'll get you another cup of coffee before the day keeps going.
Thank you.
We have the prisoner that is due for execution, Harlem resident Hilton Adams. When did Lieutenant Poole say that execution was scheduled for?
Just sometime soon, but it did not feel imminent to me. I didn't make a note of it, but just soon. Let me see if I wrote it down. What I remember, did he say, Becca?
Sentenced in October.
He was sentenced in October. It didn't feel like, he's gonna die any moment, but I may have misinterpreted. So what?
He told you a week.
A week. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I have noted down here that Lieutenant Poole said in about a week, so it's not immediate.
It's not an immediate because he's scheduled to die within a week. And then we also have the convicted spouse, this Myra Adams. Here is my potential concern, especially if we're dealing with cultist or nefarious practices. I have a concern that Rebecca Schosenberg life may be not necessarily in danger, but if she continues reporting,
she's very publicly digging into information that they may not want her to have. That is a very good point. Perhaps we should go talk to Rebecca Schosenberg.
Correct.
Before we
My
talk to
also
anyone
other
else.
concern is I'm just trying to work through the logistics here. How long would it take us to get to Sing Sing and back? Would we have time to return home to attend Jackson's funeral tomorrow? If not, we may need to push the Sing Sing visit until after the
Fair
burial.
enough.
Sing Sing. Give me. I think that you would know, just from being alive in this time period and from traveling to New York. Sing Sing is the place that's the origin of the phrase up the river. It's upstate in New York. It used to be close to a town called Sing Sing, which later changed its name because of
it
the
didn't want to be
negative
associated
association.
with.
Exactly. It's
It's where they send everyone in Law and Order. Or, if you've ever watched some Law and Order, they talk about Sing
send
Sing
him
a
up
lot.
to Sing Sing. It is
Like,
a real
he's in
penitentiary.
Sing Sing.
Yeah.
What's his face? Briscoe. Briscoe always talks about Sing Sing. Anyway.
Absolutely. I believe you that Briscoe is a real detective.
Lenny Briscoe, that's his name.
Yeah, Briscoe and Klinko.
Klinko. Briscoe
And
and
Briscoe and
Klinko.
Klinko, buddy cop. Now that's a show we could sell. I'm gonna say, well, it's up the river a couple hours, but the funeral is tomorrow, so you could go there. You wouldn't have to spend the night. You could come back within a day, but it would be a pretty long day trip.
I think, okay.
You also have the scraps of paper that you found in Elias's room.
I
which
think
you've taken a glance at,
should
but you can look at it
go
again.
talk to the reporter. We should look at our papers that we found, just look at everything that we found from Jackson. And this might seem strange in the middle of an investigation, but should we also go check in on your jazz musician, Millie?
There's like a hard pause, like she honestly has forgotten about him already. She's like, oh, no, we can wait. Recreation later. Right now, I feel like we may or may not be on a time frame. Are you trying to set me up, Peterson?
I'm just feeling very aware of the finite nature of human life at the moment.
The finite nature looks at you, of human looks at Joe life.
I don't know why you're looking back and forth between both of us at the moment.
Yeah, why are you doing that, Millie? Why are you doing that?
I'm going to go get you some more coffee, Joe, and I'm going to leave you guys to have a much needed, very obvious conversation. Hopefully you two can have that resolved before I come back upstairs.
Okay, that's an odd thing to say, but thank you, Millie. Thank you.
Bye, Millie. Millie leaves and I just go, should we just not talk? We should sit here in silence just to spite her, shouldn't we? I feel like that's what we should do.
So on board with that.
I will just say
when no nonsense Millie backfires.
Love
thank you
it.
for the bow tie. I'm sorry.
Oh, you did find it. I wasn't sure.
I was able to tie it today, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I lost my sense of. I'm sorry. I was upset last night about everything.
You're sorry that you were upset about Jackson?
Well, I'm just sorry if I looked like I needed help.
Hey, what's wrong with that? You seemed frustrated and with your tie. You seem upset today. You keep I didn't mean to exclude you from the studying.
No, I'm not upset about that. I promise. I'm not upset.
You seem upset about it.
No, I'm not. I didn't mean to. I was just like, oh, you did research without me, but
no, but
it's fine.
It wasn't.
It's fine. I needed to sleep, and it's okay. I don't care. I don't care if you're spending time with people who aren't me. I don't know what I think. I don't know how I feel. What is happening? Joe, what happened while you were on your, what happened over the last few months? You went to California, and I'm just going to like drink coffee and to shut myself up.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to pull my weight, because we usually leave a lot of the researching and the note keeping and the collecting to you, and I thought that wasn't fair, and I thought that I could take that opportunity.
What does that have to do with your time in California? That's last night, and that's fine. I appreciate it. I needed
has
rest.
Nothing to do with. Okay.
We don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
She got married.
Oh, Joe, I'm sorry. Can you still? I mean, does that matter? You were illegally binding thing before anyway. Can you just keep? Does she care? Is it just for? I mean, can't she just?
It's not that. It's see, my benefactor, it's not really her, it's her family. And they pay me to stay away. And I took the money. And we talked about it, you know, she wanted me to, because then I could dig. And we moved on. And Hollywood was great, because it really was. It really was, Penny. We got to say goodbye. And I got to see her life. And she's happy. So I've been trying to do better. Penny, I've been trying to be present and not living in the past, and I want to be good for this group and us, and I wanted to take some of the load off for you, because you're really strong.
Listen,
you know.
Me. Well, Joe,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not. Look at me.
Every
I am
time.
not. No.
Who has the gun? Every time you make them so intimidated.
That's not strength. A gun is not strength. Do you see me? I don't even go by my real name, Joe. I'm not strong. You have always pulled your weight. So don't worry about that. So don't worry about that. I'm sorry. That sounds a very painful experience. But I care about you, and we also though are here to do a job, and also to find out what happened to Jackson, so that what happened to him was not in vain. And I think we should focus on that.
I still feel like there's something. Can we just let it go for a second?
Let what go?
Everything.
When you say let what go, Millie returns with coffee.
Hey! Oh, great. Oh, yeah, baby. Coffee.
She will, looking at the emotional state of both of them, she's going to keep her wise ass comments to herself. She will hand a cup of coffee over to each of them, adoringly, and then she is going to do everything she can to transition right back into business. So did we come to an agreement that possibly speaking to the investigative reporter should be our first step?
Yes, I believe that is what we should do.
That is what we talked about. Yep.
Beautiful. Then I believe she should have at least an office or a point of contact at the New York Times. It's just about 9 now. I think we should head that way.
You do. The recently expanded New York Times is no longer the location that Times Square is named after. It has moved to 229 West 43rd Street
Times Square is named after?
I
didn't
love
know that.
All the tidbits you get are straight out of the scenario. I did no extra research. It gives a lot of information. This is actually the revised version of Mass. And yeah, it has all of these wonderful things. Okay.
So cool. Okay.
So
I knew about Sing Sing from Law and Order, though.
We know.
Just to be clear.
No, we know you did your Law and Order research. As you head to the New York Times building on 43rd Street, you find a desk person that you absolutely can find the office of Rebecca Schosenberg. Everyone's very busy. It's kind of just a bullpen with, the sound of typewriters clacking and cubicles and papers flying over the tops of them, because naturally when something comes off of a typewriter, it has to fly in the air canonically. Yeah. And you find Rebecca Schosenberg sitting at a cubicle with her name on it. Yes?
Rebecca Schosenberg.
That's right. The
Hello.
desk is very neat and orderly, as is she. You find a woman with her hair up in a bun, maybe early 30s. Let's see, Schosenberg. And underneath her nameplate, it says Junior Crime Reporter. And she's very petite. She has a dark complexion, wavy black hair. And at first appearance, she seems kind of humorless, very intense.
Peterson is just gonna take note of how Joe interacts with this person. That's all. It's not necessarily obvious to anyone else, but just so everyone knows, Peterson is watching this interaction.
Roll for stealth.
Because, Rebecca's cute, and I just
Why are you making me blush?
want to know. I'm going to fail this, by the way. My stealth is so low. I rolled a 23. Oh, it's so close. I'm spending 3 luck points, and I will get a regular success on this.
Neither Joe nor Rebecca notice
We're
your
spending
weird
all our luck
jealous
points on
clocking.
personal relationships and not on
Welcome to RPGs, baby.
Way to invest in the parts of the story that will not keep these PCs that you love alive.
No, give their life meaning.
And then we snuff out the light.
Oh my goodness.
Don't you
Cool.
love it, Becca? We'll help you kill our characters for you.
I mean, hey, we're just here to tell a story, whatever that story ends up being.
Mrs. Schosenberg, we don't have an appointment, but we would appreciate if you could give us a moment of your time to discuss the 9, or actually I should say as of yesterday afternoon, the 10.
She fixes her glasses and sits down. She had been standing up with a filing cabinet open and looking very like she didn't have time for this. And when you say that, she sits down and puts the papers down and says, "No, yesterday's was the 9th.
Oh, apologies. She would have said it differently. So, okay. So Jackson was 9.
Oh, in
my
that
bad, my
case,
bad.
she says, "You have my attention," and gestures. There's just 2 chairs, and it's a cramped cubicle, but she does have 2 chairs, but not
I'll
room
stand.
for a third. Okay.
I do a lean.
Millie will sit. You're a brave woman to be reporting murders out of Harlem. I can't imagine it has much viewership, but yet you are consistent in doing so.
I've been warned many times that my behavior could get me into trouble, not least by my editor. But I do what I do because I believe it's right. And I believe that the truth needs to be discovered. And I believe that that man doesn't deserve to die.
No, and because she specifically said that man and didn't name him, she will try to assert how aware or current we are with the investigation by replying, no, we don't believe Hilton Adams deserves to die either. But hopefully, with your help and our combined efforts, we may find a way to alleviate him from this impending doom that's been forced upon him.
I see our purposes are aligned. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
My name is Millie, and this is, and she'll point over her shoulder at Joe.
That's Joe.
This
I'm
is
Peterson.
Joe. She was
Excellent.
waiting for Joe to step in. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
You've all been
And Dr.
introduced.
Peterson.
She
I
nods.
got introduced.
I will
All
say, we've had a stressful morning. The man who your latest article is about was our close friend, Jackson.
I'm so very sorry to hear about that. I didn't know him personally, but Well, his books are... she gestures to a bookcase, and a couple of them are sitting there. And people around the office do discuss local authors. He's been written up by the book reporters, and, well, many people are very sad to hear of his death today.
Hey, scrolls down the river.
She pulls out clippings of newspapers. Joe, you see the ones that you found last night here as well. But she also, let's see, the reports concerning the first two bodies don't make a definite link between them. And those are not ones that mentioned the strange symbol. So you didn't actually find those, but she says, these are the first two. I know from eyewitness reports and by, well, one of the beat cops. Not too smart of one.
We met him. Klinko.
Oh, you know Klinko? Yes, well,
Yeah.
Klinko is, you buy him a couple drinks and he'll tell you anything. He told me that these first two also had the carvings on the forehead.
Yes. Jackson also had a carving.
Now, the police couldn't seem to find any ties between the victims other than their visits to Harlem, which is hardly noteworthy. I mean, it's a very popular area after dark because, well, many of the speakeasies and the good ones are located in that area. It's a very happy nightlife.
Excuse me, is that where Teddy's Saloon is?
Teddy's Saloon.
In Harlem. Do you know?
No, yes, I've been to Teddy's. Yes, there's definitely a milk bar there, if you know what I mean.
I think we do. Ma'am, is there anything specific that makes you believe that Hilton Adams is not guilty? Or is it just a gut feeling?
Well, I was asking around a little to his friends and everything, just doing my due diligence.
Of course.
And Klinko, sweet man, I know he wasn't trying to issue a threat to me by any means, but he did tell me, out of care and concern, genuinely, that I shouldn't be asking too many questions in that neighborhood.
Klinko said that.
Honestly, the man that you should be worried about is... Who did you say you were again? Can someone give me a charm or a credit rating? Because before she gives you everything she knows, she needs to know you're not from a rival newspaper.
Millie will hop in with a charm. He's making
Credit rating of 15.
26 for credit.
So mine is a hard success as well.
You show her your business card. Oh, go ahead.
You say, is our Sorority of the Unordinary is the it's not like a secret, right? Can we be like, or is it?
It's pretty secret.
Okay, so I say, ma'am, we are. I'm a medical doctor. We were also just personal friends of Jackson Elias, and he asked us to come here and speak with him, and we're just trying to figure out what happened to him.
She looks at you discerningly, narrows her eyes, but nods slowly. Millie, did you roll as well?
I did. She got a regular success on the charm.
She looks at you sitting right in front of her, and she looks eye to eye with you, and kind of gives you a slight smile. And Joe also succeeded on credit rating?
Correct.
Do you tell her anything about your occupation?
I just continue with the sentiment of, I'll throw in,
you could potentially have the newspaper clippings that match hers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I'll just say, I'll like kind of open my breast pocket and show all the newspaper clippings of her newspaper column, and I'll just say, big fan.
Oh, yeah. Okay, she loves that. All three of you impress her, but Millie, she's looking eye to eye with you at this desk, and she leans in and she says, all right, you seem trustworthy. I'll tell you. The captain of the 14th precinct. He was the one. Some of these murders, the killings, they were in different jurisdictions, but he had all of the investigations transferred over to the 14th precinct, this Robson fellow. I don't know. It seems that he had a lot of personal interest in finding the murderer, and then Hilton Adams. Well, I've spoken to his wife, Myra, and a few of his friends that would talk to me. From everything I gather, he was just a stand-up gentleman. He'd started his own neighborhood watch.
I hesitate to ask this, darling, but have you already started looking into Captain Robeson?
To be quite honest, I've, aside from just reporting the facts, I do very much want whoever is guilty of these to be stopped. And I want the police to be the ones that find the truth, but... Well, part of me feels guilty that I've been worried about my own safety.
No. You need to take care of yourself. Anything happening to you does not serve anyone else who is a victim of this. Do you understand? So you need to take care of yourself, and you need to be careful, because you are putting yourself in danger by so publicly publishing articles about this.
Well, that's why I haven't put in it outright that I think Robson is at best incompetent and at worst corrupt, but it feels like a frame job to me.
Is there anything else that you have discovered that is not in your articles that you feel like would help in an investigation?
I mean, I could give you an introduction to Myra. I could perhaps write a letter to Hilton, who knows that I've been writing these articles in his defense.
That would be wonderful. We would like to go see him at Sing Sing. So if we were able to get on a visitor list of some sort, that of course would be wonderful.
Yeah, and a note of verification that we're not trying to screw him.
Yeah.
I'll place a call. I appreciate other investigators that are interested in helping and putting an end to these murders. And again, I'm so sorry for your friend. I will be at Mr. Elias's funeral tomorrow, so.
We will as well. Please take care of yourself above everything else. We are on this now. You can rely on us. We have gotten ourselves out of many sticky situations, and we have protected people in many dangerous scenarios as well. So take care of yourself first, Rebecca, and trust that we are here to help.
I can't tell you how much this means to me. Please, if you think of anything else I can do, please just give a call to it at the Times. They'll transfer you. Her phone's ringing. Anyway, if there's anything else.
One quick question.
Of course.
Do you happen to know a guy who passed away in the socialite pages? His name Carlyle?
Carlyle, of course. Yeah, there's a guy down the hall that was reporting on that. It's a shame. All that. Loss of life, well.
Yeah, big shame. Thank you.
She grabs her phone as you walk away.
While she has,
Rebecca
Millie's the only one seated. While she's grabbing that phone, Millie just wants to, her hands in her lap, she just wants to reach down to her ankle and run her thumb across the blade that she keeps down there, where it's going to draw blood. And she just wants to very quickly, if she can, get a protection symbol at the bottom of her desk. So she's doing this, as quickly as possible. Quick slice, symbol. She's not going to open up her gree bag, and she's not about to throw bones right now. But she will attempt to put a symbol there, and then she'll just get up very quickly with the thumb in her mouth, nod at her, and walk off.
Please roll for power.
Yo.
Ooh, so cool.
Rolling under 60. God bless her. So she rolled a 98. She is going to push
Millie,
it.
why?
I know. I don't know what you guys want from me. It's a 98.
I want you to roll better.
I want to roll better too, baby. So she's going to push it by the bottom of the desk has those brackets, and her thumb keeps bopping up against the side of it, and it's like screwing up her symbol. But she's on the phone. Everyone is already leaving. So as she's scooting out, she's like, get to the land. There we go.
Not only that, but your knife cuts a little too deeply into your thumb. And as you get up after laying the symbol, give me a push roll.
The push roll made it by 3.
Oh, okay.
Just barely.
By the way, chat did clarify that I was over lenient and a push roll cannot have luck spent. But you justified it well.
That's okay. This is a Becca game.
But you're the keeper and you get to say what goes.
It's our game. Forget the rules.
Yeah. You
And
hear
I
that,
agree
chat?
with that moment for Penny too.
Forget
Fuck you,
you,
chat.
Chaosium.
Fuck you, chat. Just kidding, I love
thank you for the sponsor.
Yeah, thank you.
For your sponsorship,
Thanks,
we love
everybody.
you.
Your thumb starts bleeding a little too profusely, but you do lay the symbol and you feel a thrum through your whole body as you feel the whisper of your ancestors on the back of your neck saying, "Bless this woman." And you see, only Millie can see as you get up and walk away, a golden hue momentarily thrum around Rebecca's outline. As you turn and walk away, your finger is bleeding pretty badly and you've dropped a few drops of blood in the hallway of the New York Times.
Okay.
I would like to see if Peterson notices. Do you think Peterson notices this?
I think you can have a bonus die on your spot hidden because Peterson is a healer.
Right.
You smell blood.
You smell the blood.
Oh my gosh, I rolled the exact same thing on both dice. So I rolled a 41, which is a regular success on spot hidden. So I will notice this and just reach into my medical bag and pull out a little bit of gauze and hand it to Millie.
All right.
Thanks, darling.
Well, friends, you have interviewed Rebecca Schosenberg, who has agreed to call in to Sing Sing Prison up
It's going to take us
the
10
river.
sessions to get
Sorry.
So be it. You have
It's our
information
story.
about Myra Adams. You have different pieces of paper in your possession, whether you decide to look at them or not, that you found in Elias Jackson Elias's hotel
we
room.
will look at them.
And
We will look at those papers.
you
We're
know
going to.
that maybe some people died in the desert in Egypt, but whatever.
Forget them.
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there.
And as you step out onto the New York street, you feel the wind blow on your face. And Millie feels the whisper of her ancestors that Peterson and Joe roll for power to see if you hear it too. They try to tell you, Millie, it's not safe here. Get yourself away. You're meddling in things you shouldn't be. Do Peterson
Just
and Joe
miss it.
hear it? Peterson
I
doesn't hear it?
just miss it. Yeah.
I miss it by a little bit wider of a margin. So I think Joe is standing slightly behind Peterson, aggressively, uncomfortably staring at the back of their head, clearly like 1,000-yard stare.
Oh, of note, quickly, before we talk about the Cthulhu stuff, I feel like Joe didn't do too much flirting with Rebecca. How do we feel about that? Because I was keeping an eye on it. It didn't feel too flirtatious. It felt pretty on like businessy.
Yes, I would say.
Okay.
I would say
Felt businessy to me.
I would say you probably heard. I would say it's pretty unusual that Joe didn't say much of anything.
Yeah. Okay.
She just said
noted.
this.
Peterson-
and said big fan. Like
Peterson, can you give me a sanity roll?
Oh, wow. Oh, it's so good.
I sure
Yeah.
can. And guess what? That was a 14.
Peterson, you're not too jealous. You totally were aware of the situation and everything was legitimate.
This is totally fine. And like, whatever. And obviously our whatever's happening here is more important than Cthulhu.
as Joe's just like, oh God.
I don't hear it. The power fails. I don't hear these messages because I'm like, okay, she didn't flirt. All right. No Ted. I pull out my journal and I'm like, Joe did not flirt with reporter. And I note it down with the time and the date.
And
Oh my gosh.
And Joe is going, she didn't wear the tie. She didn't wear the tie. She didn't wear the tie. Why is she looking at me? Is she looking at me? Why do I care if she's looking at me? Oh, God.
Joe, please roll for sanity.
I just made it by a few points.
It seems both of you are equally obsessed with what the other is thinking, and that is where we will leave our adventure for the evening. Thank you so much to my incredible players, Bridget Jeffries, Gina DeVivo. Okay, well, guess what? Maybe we need to next week because, as you mentioned, and as Ardan Henry mentioned,
For New York.
I love that Ardan Henry in chat said, "Get back on the plot, whisper the ancestors."
No!
It should be a t-shirt. Get back on the plot, comma, whispers the ancestors.
Love that so much. Hope you didn't copyright it, Ardan Henry, because we will definitely put that on a t-shirt. If you would like to join us for the after show we are going to record right now, you can find us on patreon.com/goodtimesociety, and we very, very much appreciate our incredible patrons and want to give you awesome stuff. So hopefully we'll see you over there. A huge thank you to Chaosium that sponsors this entire show. We are so grateful to them, the wonderful people over there that not only have a wonderful stream of their own, Stream of Chaos is their Twitch handle, but they also give us this discount code. You get 10% off on chaosium.com if you type in Calyx X3. I'm sorry, Calyx. Jesus, it's like Calyx S3 for season 3 as your discount code at checkout. That makes us look good and make us feel super fancy. If you're watching on YouTube, click the link in our description below because that also makes us look good when you use our fancy link. And all right, maybe we will have a slightly longer episode next week if our players are willing. We'll see what else happens, and we'll see if we can find out who murdered Jackson Elias and what he had found out about the Carlyle Expedition. We'll see you next time on the Calyx. Bye.
Bye.